Hey guys, it's Xiao. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you guys are new here. Today's video is going to be a DIY video, but it's going to be a little bit different. I've been seeing some of these DIY Urban Outfitters or Anthropologie inspired videos go around YouTube, and I wanted to try it out for myself. So basically what I did was I went onto the Anthropologie website and I picked out 3 either like holiday room decor items or gifts, and I decided to try to replicate those for myself, and I think I did a pretty good job. But let me know down below how you guys think I did. I had a lot of fun making this video because I feel like it really challenged my creative side. I liked going to the craft store, not really having anything in mind, and just looking at products to see if I can use those to replicate these Anthropologie items. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. If you guys are new here, please consider subscribing. But other than that, let's just go ahead and get right into it. The first DIY is going to be this Anthropologie candy cane palm garland. This thing retails for $38, which is pretty hefty for a decor piece. So it's basically a red and white intertwined rope type of garland with these white pom-poms, and we're gonna go ahead and try to DIY that. So for the materials to make the red and white garland, I'll be using this red and white yarn that I picked up from Michael's for only $1.50 each. It's nice because they come in these smaller packs, so you don't have to buy a whole roll of yarn. Next up, I found these perfect fluffy white pom-poms in the Christmas section. These are tree picks that I got on sale for $1.50 each. I picked up 2 so that I'll have a total of 6 pom-poms. Since my garland is going to be a little bit shorter, you can pick up more if you're going to make a longer garland. And last but not least, you'll need a hot glue gun and a pair of scissors. I'm going to start off with the red and white yarn first. So you want to cut both strings so they're the same in length. I only made about a foot long of a garland, but again, that's totally up to you. So with the red and white yarn, you want to twist them together so it gives you that candy cane pattern. So I'm just going to show you guys how not to do it. But basically, I'm just twisting each end in opposite directions. As you guys can see, it does give you that twisted candy cane look. But this way it doesn't work because once you let it go, it unravels. I did find a video on YouTube giving me a tutorial on how to properly do it. I will link that down below. I'm going to tape off one end onto the very top of the table, and then taking only the left yarn, you want to twist that counterclockwise, and that right yarn just stays straight. So you want to take that left yarn, once you're done twisting it, put it over that right yarn, and then now you want to hold that right yarn straight, taking the left one, twist it again, and then once you're done twisting, you want to move that over your right yarn. So you just want to repeat that. As you can see, while you're doing that, the bottom does get a little bit twisted, so you just want to straighten that out. Another method that I found that worked for me is just twisting them both in opposite directions. So here I'm twisting them both towards each other. As you guys can see, my thumbs are moving inwards. So one is twisting counterclockwise and the other one is twisting clockwise. Either method works. I just found this way to be a little bit faster and easier. Once you're done twisting your 2 yarn pieces together, you just want to tie a knot at the end. So this is what your candy cane inspired garland should look like. Next, we're going to move on to the pom-poms. I just went ahead and cut the pom-poms off of their stem, then gluing one pom-pom at a time, starting off with gluing one each onto the ends of the yarn garland, and then spacing out the rest of the pom-poms on the garland, and then also securing them with glue as well. And that is it for this candy cane pom-pom inspired garland. I went ahead and hung it above my craft pegboard. You can also just drape it on a shelf or even on a mantle. So the Anthropologie candy cane pom-pom garland retails for $38. And with my DIY inspired garland, using everything I already had on hand and things I had to buy, it only cost me $6, which I think it turned out pretty identical. The next Anthropologie inspired DIY is going to be this fluffy faux fur tree. This retails for $44, and it basically is a faux fur as a tree and a metal looking base. This DIY probably looks the most confusing on camera, but I think it's the one that I'm most proud of. For the materials to make the fur tree portion, I'll be reusing some of these Target brand duster pads that I featured in my previous Decorate My Christmas Tree video. One box costs about $2 and you get 5 duster pads, which I do recommend using all 5 of these for this DIY. Next up, you'll need some wire to secure your base. I already have this wire on hand, and I believe this is either a 16 or 18 gauge. You want wire that is thick enough so that it's strong, but not too thick to the point where you can't easily bend it. To make the square base, I will be using 2 packs of clay that I got from Michael's for about $1.50 each. I really could have only used one to make one square, but I didn't realize that until I had already made it. Next, I'll also be using gold spray paint that I already own to make the white clay and the wire match the same color, and also to give it that metal look similar to the Anthropologie one. And then last but not least, you'll just need your hot glue gun again and a pair of scissors. Alright, to start off with this DIY, I'm going to take those 2 packs of clay and basically just stack them right on top of each other. I'm going to squish them together a little bit and then smooth out the edges. Next, I'm going to take my card, but you can take a knife or anything. I'm basically just going to cut it in half so that it gives you more of that square shape. And then after that, you just want to go ahead and continue to smooth it down. Taking my card, I'm just going to flatten out each edge until I get my desired square shape. Once you're happy with that shape, you just want to set it aside. You don't want to put it in the oven yet. Moving on to the wire, I cut a piece that was about 20 inches and then I folded that in half. Next, I took my pliers and I pinched the looped end together so that it wasn't as big. Then to start twisting the 2 folded wires together, I overlapped the 2 wires and then took my plier and started twisting from the looped end, while with my other hand keeping the 2 wires separated. It was pretty simple to do. You just want to twist with the pliers from a looped end until you reach the other end of the wires. Now you can insert the looped end into the center of your square clay piece. You want to insert it about 3/4 of the way through. Next, I just followed the baking instructions on my clay packaging. After it baked and cooled, I just went ahead and spray painted it. We're going to start working on that faux fur tree. I'm going to take 3 of these duster pads and we're going to start gluing them together. I basically just added glue along the long end of each pad and then overlapped the other pad on top of that glue. I repeated this step until all 3 pads were connected. So with the 3 pieces connected, we want to connect all the ends. So with the right side, we're going to fold it a little bit and fluff up all that fur because we want the fur to be up at the top, like the tip of the tree. And then taking the left top corner, I folded that at an angle to try to create a cone shape similar to a tree. It's kind of confusing to show and explain it, so I'm just going to show it on a piece of paper. Hopefully that helps you guys a little bit. So here's an example on a piece of paper. You want to take that right side on the corner, you want to fold that towards more of the center, and same for the left side. So the top is thinner and the bottom kind of like tapers out like a tree. Basically, we're going to fold the right side a little bit down. You want to fluff up all the fur that you can, add some glue at that corner, and then you want to fold that left corner and put that right on top of the glue. And then you also want to glue that bottom piece closed too, but you still want to have that big opening at the bottom. It doesn't look quite like a cone shape yet, but we'll give it a haircut later. Next, you want to take a 4th piece of that duster pad and you want to cut it in half. We're going to use both of these pieces, but first we're just going to use one for now. Now taking my fur tree and one of that half fur piece, I'm going to insert that with the fur facing in through the bigger opening, which is the bottom of the tree. And then I'm going to use the end of a paintbrush to help push that through until it peeks through at the other end, which is going to be the top of the tree. I'm doing this not only to close up the top opening, but we're also going to pull out some of that fur to make the top of the tree pointier like a real tree. Next, using the other half of the duster pad, I'm going to glue it onto the end of my wire base piece. Before doing this, you can go ahead and trim down the wire if it's too long. I already went ahead and trimmed it off camera. At this point, the fir tree portion is pretty hollow on the inside, so if you have that 5th duster pad, I would recommend sticking that on the inside, and then you can stick this metal piece with that fir end into it. So you're basically done. Off camera, I did go ahead and give it a little bit of haircut so it looks a little bit sharper, kind of like a tree shape. Now you just want to go ahead and display it, and you're done with this DIY. So this Anthropologie fur tree retails for $44, and our do-it-yourself tree with everything that I already had on hand only cost me $3, and I'm really happy with the way it turned out. I think it looks pretty identical, and I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. And last but not least, I will be making these Anthropologie inspired tree shaped gift bags. These retail for $12 for 2 bags, and these make for perfect gifts on their own, or you can put gifts in them to give away. For the materials, I picked up this folded piece of cotton fabric from Michaels for only $1.50. They had a bunch of different colors and patterns. For the size gift bag that I made, I could have made 2 gift bags, but of course that depends on the size that you go for. Next, I picked up these tiny pom-poms from Michaels for only $1.50. They did have those sparkly ones similar to the ones shown in the Anthropologie gift bags. Those were a little bit more expensive and they came in separate colors, so I just decided to go with these ones. Next, you'll need some fabric glue. Of course, if you have some time, you can let it dry. This usually takes about 24 hours to dry, but since I was lazy and I was filming, I just decided to use my hot glue gun, and I found that it still worked pretty well. You also need some kind of string or twine to close your drawstring gift bags. So I already had these gold and white twine on hand, so I'm just going to use these. Last but not least, you'll need a pair of scissors, pencil, and a bobby pin or safety pin. To begin, I unfolded that fabric piece, but I left it folded in half only, with the opening at the top and the folded part at the bottom. I'm going to start drawing my tree shape onto the fabric. I decided to leave out the little trunk part of the tree that the Anthropologie gift bag had, just to make my life a little easier. As I was drawing my tree shape, my fabric folded right where the top opening of my tree was going to be, so I just went with that, and this is where I will be gluing down a hollow flap to insert the drawstring later. Once it's cut out and unfolded, this is what it should look like. The bottom part of the tree should be connected like so, and then I'm going to start gluing the edges together, making sure not to glue the very top part. If you'll be using a glue gun, I recommend gluing in sections since the glue dries pretty fast. So I'm just going to go ahead and apply a little bit of glue on the edges and then fold that other layer right on top and glue those together. Now that the sides are glued down, we're going to glue down the top flap. So you just want to apply a little bit of glue on the very top edge of that flap. You don't want it to be closed completely because you want to have it hollow so you can stick your twine in there. And then once you're done with that, flip it over, apply a little bit of glue on the very top again, and then glue that flap down, again leaving it a little bit hollow. So with all the sides glued together and the tabs glued down, it is currently inside out, so you want to push it so it's outside in. And with the sharp corners, it's a little bit harder to push the corners out, so I would recommend getting something a little bit pointy. I'm going to take the end of one of my paintbrushes and just push those pointy corners of the tree out. At this point, you're basically done with the bag. Now we just want to go ahead and put in the drawstring or the twine. So this is the twine I'll be using. I tied a knot on each end and then just taking a safety pin or a bobby pin, which I'm doing in this case. I'm going to insert the one end of the twine into the bobby pin, insert that through the drawstring, and just make sure it comes out the other end. And then to finish off this DIY, we're just going to glue on some pom-poms to match the Anthropologie gift bags, and then we are done with this DIY. You can give away these gift bags as gifts, or you can put stuff in there and actually give it to them with their gifts inside. So I just put some washi tape in there, or you can keep it for yourself to store stuff, and it's just super cute. You can make it in any shape. It doesn't have to be a Christmas tree, and I really like the way that it turned out. So the set of Anthropologie gift bags retails for $12, and with everything I already had on hand, it only cost me $1.50 to make it myself, and I could have made 2 of them or even more depending on the size of the gift bags. But you guys, I think it turned out really cute and really similar, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. That is it for my DIY Anthropologie inspired video. Please let me know down in the comments what store you guys want me to try out next. I really enjoyed making this video and it was just really fun. So if you guys liked it, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Bye guys.